Next week is National Retirement Security Week, a time to focus on finance. Plenty to keep in mind. Today we have financial professional Justin Halverson with Great Waters Financial here to tell us why retirement planning has changed, and he has some tips on how to prepare for the future. Good to have you here today.
Great to be here today, Pat.
A lot has changed since our folks and grandparents retired. Typically we go to our folks and grandparents for advice. Not such a great idea now.
Probably not the best place for advice today. We're going to talk about a lot of the challenges that retirees and soon-to-be retirees are facing today. But especially since the recession of 07 and 08, people lost a lot of money in their 401ks and IRAs. That's now come back. But millennials coming out of college aren't getting as much income, and so they're having a tougher time saving for retirement today.
But millennials are good savers, better than boomers, I was
Statistically,
reading as well.
yes, they are catching up, and we'll talk about that at the end.
Let's talk about some things. These are some things that have changed. No safety net.
So the safety net that existed before was that the majority of retirees could retire one day, turn on their pension, turn on their Social Security, and everything was okay. They lived happily ever after on almost the same budget they had while they were working. Well, today, fewer and fewer people and companies are offering pensions today, so fewer of us have pensions, and Social Security is replacing a smaller percentage of our income in retirement, and it's just creating a bigger challenge without that safety net.
There's an extra decade to plan for.
Well, I think it's a good thing that we're living longer, but we need our resources and we need our health to go along with it, and so if we're planning for an extra decade in retirement, that means we have to save more money. If we're spending $40,000 or $50,000 a year, which is what the average retiree spends today, an extra decade means you've got to save an extra $500,000. And the actuaries are proving we're living longer.
There's the single factor, a lot more of us single.
Well, you know, marriages aren't lasting as long, and so that means there's more and more people retiring single. Either they get divorced or maybe they never got married in the first place. So if you're not married, you can't save quite as much. There could be some challenges there. Maybe there's not a survivor benefit for a pension income or a stream of Social Security that could get a bump up at the first death. Now, if you're divorced and you were married for at least 10 years, you can take a spousal benefit either while you're alive or after your ex-spouse passes away if you were married for at least 10 years.
Increasingly valuable for these folks, that's
Absolutely,
for sure.
Yes.
More debt, more problems.
Well, we all know debt is a problem today. Between credit card debt and student loan debt, it is a $1 trillion plus problem today. And so the biggest thing we need to do is, if we're wanting to retire one day, we need to eliminate debt. And so that means getting disciplined today, creating a budget, sticking to a budget, and paying down those credit cards and those loans so we can get debt-free.
Healthy spending.
Well, we call it healthy spending, but it doesn't seem so healthy. Health insurance and health costs for retirees today are rising. The most recent study shows that the average retired couple will spend over $260,000 out of their own pockets over and above what Medicare and Medicaid would provide for them. And so that's a lot of money out of your own pocket. And then if you're, hopefully you won't have to, but if you ended up in a nursing home or assisted living facility, the costs are even higher. The average assisted living is $43,000. Almost double that, Pat, for a nursing home today.
Health is really one of the big things that financially cripples people, does it not?
In many, many ways. I mean, even for if you want to retire early and if you don't have health insurance up until 65, that can be a challenge, as well as these extra expenses throughout retirement.
And as we're seeing, these costs are escalating as well, so you do need to protect yourself. You have given us a lot to chew on today,
it's a lot,
we
Pat.
appreciate it. It's encouraging, though, that younger people have this very much in mind, though.
They're doing better. Some of these studies do show that millennials and Gen Xers are doing a bit better saving for retirement and getting themselves on track to know what they might need to have saved up to retire one day.
Thank you so much. Good to have you here.
Always a pleasure.
You can find more information on this topic at KARE11.com. Look into the shows tab.